Now we're going to look at using stack chain as the bridge and a bridle. Now we've mocked up a bridle here, so when you look at these two shackles on either side, there's going to be wire rope or some other sort of rigging attachment going up to two different structures, right? Because in a bridle, we're trying to combine two structural points into one, either to share loads or to find a location where there isn't a piece of structure directly above us. So we've got two bridle legs coming down to shackles, and then we have our 5-foot piece of stack chain bridging those two legs. So that gives us the ability to pick a spot anywhere between, basically, and find where we want to put our point. So if it's dead center, we can combine it here. If it's off to one side or another, we're going to go just a little bit off center here to pick our point. Now, what's really important about using stack chain as a bridge and a bridle is that you can't just use a single link. What you want to do is combine two links together, and then you'll have what we call a floating link. So it'll look a lot like this. All right, those two links will come together, and this link will float. It won't have any kind of load on it. But you can get your fingers pinched in there. It can be kind of awkward to figure out. So what I like to do when I use this technique is to use my trusty rope, because if I'm working at height, I'm going to have a rope with me. Now, when we have a bridge bridle, it's basically inferring that we're going to have to be able to access this area. So this won't be something you're doing in a climbing venue, most likely. You'll be working off of a lift, maybe a catwalk, or some other structure where you have access to this area right here. All right, I want to use these two links as my load-bearing links. That will be my floating link. So if I have a partner with me, they can grab everything for me and hold the tension. But if I don't have a partner, or maybe my partner's busy, something like that, what I can do is I'll take my rope, I'll pass it through the link just above the one that I want to be the load-bearing link. So I'm going to pass it through away from me, and then I'm going to take it back towards me through the one just beyond my target. All right, so now I've got my rope coming through there. Now I could just bundle these together and hold them, but if I want to be able to work hands-free and not risk like dropping my shackle or my shackle pin or something like that, then I can just use a trusty old clove hitch. So after I've passed my rope through like that, I can take the tail under the standing end of my rope, and then I'm going to put my thumb right here. See where these ropes cross? I'm just going to pull my thumb up, take a little bite of that rope up above. Then I'm going to go right back through the first link I went into, come back out the link that I did second, and then that little bit of tail of rope right there, it's going to go right where my thumb is sitting. So right there. And then when I pull everything tight, the friction of the clove hitch will hold everything together. Or I could back it up with a half hitch if I'm really concerned about it, moving. But the good thing about this technique is the fact that even if this releases when I'm not looking, nothing's going to go flying anywhere. The stack chain just goes back to where it was. As opposed to other bridle assemblies where you have to disconnect one end or the other, and if you let go, it'll swing, could hit a person, hit an object, or at a minimum, just now be out of reach and require a lot more effort to retrieve. And we're going to pass that through our load-bearing links. But the important thing here, we need to take our floating link and slide it up out of the way. Now we have a nice clean shot to throw that shackle in, and there it is. Now, as with all bridle configurations, you want to avoid angles above 90 degrees. So you want to keep this angle at or below 90 degrees. The less, the better. Once you get past 90 degrees into like 120 degrees, you're going to be putting 100% load on each side. Now, after 120, as you go higher and higher in those angles, you're exponentially increasing your loads on here. So you're putting a lot more horizontal stress on the structure and a lot more stress along the rigging here. And that's how you use stack chain in a bridge bridle.